Yo, so look, this video is about the two eyes of Horus. So, in my Horus video, right, the both of them, I mentioned a form of Horus called Heru Mirti, which is Horus of the two eyes, which is Horus who has mastered his dual awareness. Now, the dual awareness from that video is going to be different from the one inside this video. So, if you want to see that video, go watch it. It was important, but this one's also important. Now, with that shit being said, Horus has two eyes. Now, you have the right eye of Horus and the left eye of Horus. The right eye is when the loop-de-loop part is going to the left. So when the loop-de part is going to your left, you feel me? That is the right eye of Horus. You feel me? Now when the loop-de is going to your right, that is the left eye of Horus. Now with that shit being said, the right eye of Horus often gets referred to as the eye of Ra, and then the left eye is what gets mainly referred to as the Eye of Horus. However, I do want to point this out, though. The fact that inside the mythology, right? You feel me? And inside the rituals and stuff like that, you feel me? Both eyes get referred to as the Eye of Horus. And also, both eyes get referred to as the Eye of Ra. So it just depends upon the context and how you're reading it and stuff like that, and what's going on and everything and stuff like that. And yeah. Now, with that shit being said, what do these two eyes represent? Inside my videos about Horus, they had a different meaning than the one inside this video. The one inside this video, right? The left eye of Horus, the one with the loop-de-loop going to the right. The left eye of Horus symbolizes the the intuitional knowing of one's self. You feel me? That is the left eye of Horus, which has the loop-de-loop going to the right. Now, the right eye of Horus, which has the loop-de-loop going to the left, you feel me? The right eye of Horus symbolizes the divine feeling that comes from knowing oneself. So one's the intuitional knowing and one is the divine feeling. Now with that shit being said, right? How does the source of creation manifest? You feel me? It manifests as intelligence and as willpower. You feel me? It manifests as intelligence and the ability for that intelligence to act itself out. How do we know this? Well, if we're going off my video about what is God, right? God is awareness. Now with that shit being said, right? Awareness, you feel me, it's just there at one point. It's just literally observing, but it's not really observing anything, right? When awareness starts to observe itself, it now knows that it is aware and that it is actually there. It knows this. What is intelligence? The ability to know something and then eventually apply that knowledge. Now, applying knowledge, that involves doing something with the knowledge. Doing something involves willpower. But if we cut that part off and just say the ability to know something, that means that the first point of intelligence is when awareness starts to observe itself and now it knows that it is actually there and that it's actually aware. When this happens, right, it increases in its intelligence and it increases in its knowing and it gains the ability to act. You feel me? Once this happens, the intelligence acts itself out and creates this whole entire fucking universe that is still being created every single fucking second. The universe is literally still expanding. Well, not the universe. Space is still expanding because different parts of the universe are still becoming aware of themselves, gaining intelligence, and then expanding themselves outward as a fucking thinking process. Literally. So, as space expands, that's like fucking space thinking because the points, so look, at the edge of space, there's fucking nothing until space hits that. So this is the edge, right? Right here is nothing. This is space expanding and shit. You feel me? As space expands, right, it makes this part become aware of itself, gain intelligence, and start thinking, which makes it expand and keep on expanding. It's just the parts that are nothing are becoming aware of themselves, and they're now intelligent, they're now thinking, acting out their thought process, and causing space to further and further and further and further expand. Space will stop expanding when the whole entire universe has become fully aware of itself, which will seem like fucking infinity to a human being. Now, with that shit being said, right, my whole entire point was that the source, God, manifests as intelligence and manifests as willpower. You feel me? Now, with that shit being said, the left eye of Horus, the one that symbolizes the intuitional knowing of oneself, you feel me? That's associated with the highest level of intelligence. The one that represents divine feeling, the right eye of Horus, that's the highest form of willpower. Now let's explain this shit a bit more. You feel me? The intuitional knowing of oneself is the highest level of intelligence, which we can already see. It's the intuitional knowing of oneself. It's a knowing. is the intelligence that you have of yourself. And intuition is the highest form of intelligence. Therefore, that's the highest form of intelligence, the intuition of knowing of oneself. Now, also, the left eye of Horus, right, has been associated with the life force energy of the dying, like of the dying serpent. So there's two life force energies: the living serpent, which is also the fiery one. You feel me? Then you have the dying serpent, which is also the cooling one. Now, the dying serpent, right, is associated with the left eye of Horus, the intuitional knowing of oneself. And the reason why is because if you remember inside the mythology, right, you have a goddess of death and physical awareness, right? There's a god that sleeps with her. You feel me? And they have a child and stuff like that. And the guy that sleeps with the girl, that guy ends up dying and stuff like that. If you remember what the girl represents, physical awareness and death, if you remember what the fuck the guy represents, if you remember why he dies, and you also remember why they had that child and what that child represents and stuff like that, it'll make sense why the dying serpent is associated with the intuition of knowing of oneself. However, if it doesn't make sense to you right now, I'll clarify that in my flow of life force video. Now, with that shit being said, right, you also have the living serpent, which is associated with the divine feeling. Now, why is that? That's because when you cultivate life force and stuff like that, right, and you start experiencing heightened levels of life, and you start experiencing heightened levels of life and everything like that, you feel me? It comes with a certain feeling and exuberance and everything like that, which will allow you to have more ability to act stuff out. Just think about it. When someone is all depressed and everything like that, they're all sad and shit like that, they don't want to act much. You feel me? It's only when they're all happy and excited they can fucking jump for joy and shit like that. So when you're in these happy and excited states, you can act more and stuff like that. You feel me? So that's why that is associated with the life serpent and stuff like that. You feel me? Now, I'm gonna make a video about the two flows of life force and stuff like that. You feel me? Well, about the flow of life force and stuff like that, you feel me? Which will clarify more shit from this video. But with that shit being said, that's all for this video. Like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that other shit, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.